Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to a intro screen, which I forgot to turn off. There we go. Here I am. My name is Rob, and you are in the technically challenged, everything is going to go wrong, Tuesday channel audit live stream. Every single week, we invite you into our classroom, our forum, our university to educate you on your YouTube journey, and we do it via the medium of channel audits. You will be sitting down and you'll be sharing your channels, and we'll be discussing many of them as we share our wisdom, our knowledge, our sometimes comical debates on how you may be able to improve your channel. And of course, I could not do this without a co-host of guests, as always. Welcoming into the hot seat number 2 along with me, it's Dan. Hey Dan, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Oh, we are so fantastic. We're so pumped up. We need a bit more energy, a bit more pizzazz, a bit more fire, and that's going to come from El Jelly. How you doing?
How you guys doing?
There we go. I thought we'd get a little. I thought we'd bring some brevity to that, you know, a little bit of yin and yang. Now, the last person I'm going to introduce, just imagine for 1 second that you were at a WWE wrestling event, and you were going to sort of hear the intro to this channel audit live stream from another voice, someone with the most incredible, electrifying announcement voice in sports, entertainment, and channel audit history. I'm going to just throw it over to this guy, and he's going to reintroduce you to the channel audit live stream.
Woo! We are live! What's up, Rob? What's up, Dan? What's up, Hefe? What's going on? What's up, people?
And that is your new executive producer here at vidIQ, Viper, joining us for his debut, his in-ring debut channel audit live streaming session. Welcome to the family, Viper. Welcome to this weird and wonderful thing that we do every single Tuesday.
What is up? Thank you for having me. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing pretty good. I'm a little concerned about one thing. I did put a poll on the live stream asking whether or not I should shave my beard. I always have this kind of existential crisis around this time of year about my facial hair, and usually it's been a strong vote to keep the beard. But now I'm being told from the voting poll, 54% say yes. I think that's the first time it's gone in favor of me doing a shave. So people, if you do want to amend that vote right now, please do so. It would kind of bring sort of equal size to this. Viper, of course, only been a clean shaven one. I can see it, all of us. Right. I mean, having been at vidIQ for quite a while, I think we just don't have time to shave because we're so busy. So Viper, that may be you in a couple of months. But yeah, do let us know if I really should shave my beard. I think it may be time to say some hello to some people as well. So I'll start with you, Dan. You can either choose to say hello to people in the chat or people I put on screen. It's up to you.
I'm only going to say hi to people who voted to keep your beard, like Cat Slade. Hello to you. Let's see. Who else? Looks like that. No, wait, there was one more.
This is just the one.
There was, I changed my vote. Keep the beard, says Texas to Milan. So there you go. There's another vote for keeping the beard. Oh, here we go. Don't shave from Shrek with a couple G's in there for some reason. Yeah. And then someone wants me to shave my head, but I'm kind of letting Mother Nature run its course. You know, it'll eventually get there.
I mean, to be fair, if anyone just wants to meme it right now, we can just take a picture of Dan and shave it off. It's entirely up to you. There you go. There's your first opportunity to get some memeing going. Jeff, who are you saying hello to?
I'm going to say hi to our friend Bori Piano, who's hanging out in the chat. Joe's phenomenal once again. Always good to see you here. We've got the Distorticon, which sounds like a new form of Transformer. I like it. And once more to our friend Gluten-Free Heaven.
And Viper, who are you saying hello to?
Let's see. We got Milan Blockteeth. What's up? How you doing? We got Excellent Dude. What's going on, man? How you doing? Martin Hewitt, Calming Anxiety. Hello. What a name. What a name. We got the Homely Grabalio. What's up? That's an interesting name, man. Bori Piano's out there. Io Gambino. What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? What's up?
What is up to all of you? And the final thing, well, two final things before we go into how all of this live stream works. I am trying to stand up desk. So if I have any technical difficulties why I suddenly get pulled out because everything is really taut right now, that's why. Also, the camera is now attached to the desk. So I'm getting a bit of a wobble. I do apologize for that. But I've also just noticed Jeff and I are sporting some new vidIQ merch. I'll just show you this one here. It's more than just a creator, so it says that in big words, and then stuff like a editor, streamer, presenter, writer, and all of that crazy jazz. And then on Jeff's, I'll get him in full screen. This is kind of like the Sims of YouTube, where it shows you all of the inner workings. You know, you got the studio working there, somebody working at their desk, filming in front of a camera, ring lights everywhere. Hopefully we may get this available soon on the channel, but yeah, we've been sporting this at Vid Summit, and we're looking forward to more stuff. Some excellent eyebrow movement there, Jeff. Well done. Good modeling. Good modeling. And then I'll just fix my camera there. So with all of that ramblings being said, I'm sure you want us to actually start auditing some channels, and so this is how it all works in 60 seconds. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit livestream, where we review your YouTube channels. There are 2 links in the description, one for gaming channels, one for non-gaming channels. Make sure you submit every week as we clear the form after every livestream. Channel audits are 100% free, so please don't send us any super chats expecting to receive an audit. And don't waste your time asking for one in the chat. If there are any alternative ways to get picked for an audit, such as memes, we will let you know during the livestream. If we can't audit your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 for you. If you haven't already installed vidIQ, download it now for free. A link is in the description, and make sure to take advantage of our free 30-day trial. If you submit your channel for audit, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, our experience, and our passion as fellow YouTube creators. It's up to you whether or not you take our advice. There are tons of links to lots of useful resources in the video description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share this live stream with another fellow creator who may find it useful. And finally, moderators, thank you for everything that you do every single week. All right, let's do this. Final orders of business before we jump into this. As always, we continue to support the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund with every single super chat. Thank you in advance for any donations. We get hundreds of channel submissions every single week, which means that we can't cover all of your channels. So what I recommend you do, if possible, is load up your channel on a second screen. And when Jeff, Dan, Viper, and I are talking about fundamentals, thumbnails, channel focus, etc., see how that may apply to your channel. And of course, we are not just a channel audit review team every 2 hours on a Tuesday. We have a plethora of tools that are going to help you grow 24/7 if you download the vidIQ Chrome extension. For example, the big release that we're really excited about and is making YouTube shockwaves right now with how many people it is helping. I think we've already got hundreds of thousands of people who have saved these ideas for their channels, and it is daily ideas. You simply click on it, and every single day, this tool is going to check out what your channel's done in the past, compare it to similar videos on YouTube and their titles, and then recommend new ideas for you. For example, perfect suggestion for us this week, today, YouTube keyword research to get more views. I think I'll save that one. What do we got next? YouTube hashtag updates. YouTube have been trying to work more and more with hashtags to get them more integrated into YouTube. Another brilliant solution. I think I'll save that one. And finally, get your YouTube channel to the targeted audience. It looks as if I think one of the creators there has put in their own hashtag. But in terms of recommendations and target audience, you saw the video I made yesterday about the secrets of the YouTube algorithm and a recommendation system as revealed by YouTube. Perfect idea again. So I think I would also save that one. That's 3 ideas saved. That could mean my 2 weeks worth of content going forward. So download vidIQ right now if you want to take advantage of this tool and many others. We have a link in the video description that will allow you full access to all of our tools for 30 days if you are a brand new customer. Check out the link in the video description. And with all that being said, Dan, Jeff, Viper, are we all ready to start auditing some channels?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. So the first channel, did someone say no then?
No.
Was it just me? I'm sure I heard someone say no.
Maybe it's your internal monologue, but you're not ready.
How about this? I'm not ready to audit any channels just yet. So what I'm going to do is throw over to the 3 amigos here as they audit the first channel, and it looks a little bit like this. And I'll let Jeff start with what you think of this, and then the other 2, if you just want to chime in, what you can see here.
Sure. So let's see here. The Mind of DeLeon. I like it, man. Hey, perfect. Thank you. Dark mode. That helps, man. That's super helpful. I appreciate that.
The best mode.
Yeah, right. So 40 subscribers here, but the thumbnails wouldn't make you think that. So it looks like he's got sort of his branding together. So you see the Mind of DeLeon in the banner with the gold text, and then he's got the gold text pulled in to his thumbnail. So stop dating. The dating's in gold. Who is Rose? He's got his Rose in gold text. So I like the overall scheme of what he's doing here. He's kind of bringing that all together branding wise. So I like it. One thing though, short films, prayer discussions about, so there's a lot going on. And I think as far as, you know, the channel artwork and banner, we really want to focus in on maybe narrowing that focus down to 3 words and letting people know exactly what you're going to give them, because there's a lot here. Short films, prayer, discussions, life, career, relations. It's like, bro, come on, man. I know you want to do it all. We're all multifaceted people. Totally get that. But I think you want to find a way to say it in 3 words, like an elevator pitch. What are you going to give me as a viewer in 3 words? That should be what's on your banner. So, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't know if I can kick it over to anybody else who wants to have a crack at it.
That's going to be the biggest thing, I think, for this channel, is trying to figure out how this all fits together under one umbrella, or out of all the things they want to cover and talk about, what's the one that they are most passionate about, most consistent about? What's the one that they can continue to make videos on day in and day out? Because I think thumbnail wise, really, really solid work. I'm not looking at the titles, like I can kind of tell what's going on, but it just like you alluded to, Jeff, it's kind of a matter of like, well, who exactly is the target audience for any given video? And it's hard for me to kind of go beyond that. That's what I'm hung up on.
I'm seeing a mixture of content about faith, but also then content about dating. And I don't see like a direct connection between the two. There's not like I guess titles how to date with a certain faith might be a way of connecting 2 topics together. But then there's also other, I would say, unconnected content like the Dance of DeLeon. I guess, is that like a comedy sketch? I don't know, because I don't know enough about this person yet. Who is Rose? Again, the question I might be asking is, I've only just encountered your channel. I don't know who you are. I need to know who someone else is. So more context there a little bit. I think I'm on the same lines as you here, Jeff, in terms of just not channel focus yet, but it is early days. The creator probably needs to establish where they fit it, you know, what they could talk about passionately for 100 videos going forward. Viper, last words to you, if you have any, about this channel.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with most of you all. It seems like the content is all over the place. However, when you're just starting out, it's going to be that way. We always tell people to make 100 videos about whatever so you can get that data. So it looks like he is accumulating the data that he will need to make a decision about where to take the channel moving forward. So more power to him. The more immediate thing that I'm noticing is that the extra stuff in the banner about Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. And I don't think you need that in the banner, because there are parts of the YouTube About page where you can include that information. So you don't necessarily need that on the banner. Plus, I can't even see that, man, unless you magnify it like Rob's doing. I can't see that. So I would just take that off the banner, to be honest.
The links are there as well. I guess it's for the mobile version, but whoever looks at a channel banner on YouTube and then immediately hunts out the social links for somewhere else, it's much more powerful to do it as a value prop at the end of a video or in a video description. Yeah. So lots, I think, to tackle DeLeon, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right as well. So yeah, that's the first channel that we're auditing today. The second channel is going to be the first channel that's submitted on our gaming form. This was the first channel that's submitted on our non-gaming form. So Dan, let's throw it over to you to take a look at Overseer PC, 2,000 subscribers, and their elevator pitch is PC gaming is a human right. Do you agree?
You know what? I do now. I never thought of it in those terms, but they're absolutely correct. Okay, so I already love what we're seeing with the channel focus. The channel focus is in the name. This is a really strong name too. I don't know what it is about Overseer PC, but it kind of lends it some kind of credibility while sounding cool at the same time. So I love all of that. Let's scroll down a little bit. Okay, so, and they are staying true to PC gaming content. So this is less of a gaming channel and more of a hardware channel. Kind of you would want like a hybrid strategy of a tech channel and a gaming channel in this case. And I think they're kind of doing that, right? Because we're seeing them use a lot of the same type of game in all of their different performance tests that they're doing with these different graphics cards and things like that. So that's really, really smart, because you're going to continually attract that kind of audience. Because when it comes to FPS and all these things, we know that like first-person shooters are very, very demanding. The gamers who play them want it to be as fast as possible. The thing, and we haven't looked at all the videos, but the thing that seems to be missing here is I would be tackling this hardware shortage every week if there's any news at all to share. And I think there's a lot out there, hardware drops and different things like that. It is, as someone who just built a PC as of like a couple weeks ago, I can tell you it's freaking impossible to get a graphics card at a decent price right now. And that is going to be a huge hurdle for your audience. So I think one bit of value you could be offering them as much as possible, if you're not doing it already, is to constantly give them any tips and tricks for buying a GPU. Not only do we have a supply shortage messing everything up right now, but cryptocurrency still is also pressure on the market. So there's a couple different things happening that are affecting your audience, which could, if you don't address those, it could kind of hold you back, because you're going to have to wait for the supply chain to catch up before people are finally looking to compare two graphics cards. Some of them are just looking to get a graphics card. So that would be one direction to go in.
So I guess an idea might be like the 3 rarest graphics cards and how to get them, or the 3 in shortest supply. Obviously, you need to tweak the title a little bit there. I think that's all very sound advice there, Dan.
Best places to buy a graphics card, in October 2021. Like, go month by month and give people a lot of different tips. There's a niche store that's all over the country, but it's only in a few places. It's called Micro Center, and they do this cool thing where you cannot order it online. You have to physically go to a Micro Center, and you can only buy one. So in some locations, because they're in big cities, your audience might be interested in knowing that, because it was something I didn't know until a couple weeks ago.
And just a little sidebar very quickly, Dan. Speaking of shortages, we were speaking last week. You were trying to secure a Nintendo Switch OLED.
Oh, yeah.
Success or not? In 10 seconds.
I actually had one in the cart, and I changed my mind because it wasn't the white one, and I also don't need the dang thing. So I'm not going to buy the one I don't even want if I don't need the thing in the first place. I got my Switch right here, but the battery's kind of garbage now. So I wanted an upgrade, but
There's probably people right now, Dan, just shaking their angry fist at you. Like, in the sense, this guy's
Someone
already
else
got
got it.
This guy's already got a Switch, and he just wants another one for better battery.
Screen. It's a nice screen.
Jeff, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's a leading question, right? You're in the tech space, right? And this channel is really nailing it with this content, but we're getting towards a really important part of the year. What might this creator be focusing on in the next couple of months, as well as what Dan suggested?
Sure. No, I'd be hitting Listicles right now, especially if they're doing any sort of affiliate marketing. Listicles would be the way to go. So, top 5.
Why? Tell us why that is.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different reasons, but it's, the whole top 5 best thing is huge on YouTube, whether it's, ghost videos or the best cars. But when it comes to product, to things that people want to buy, then that's really a big push, especially in Q4, which we're deep in right now. So now would be the best time to start coming up with those lists and to double down on that. Especially being that to get the latest and greatest of graphics cards is going to be all but next to impossible, then having a top 5 alternatives list, because people are going to have the one that they want, but then it's going to be, well, which one can you actually get? And which one is actually going to play the game that you want to play it at? Because there's a lot of people who want the best, but they're not even gaming at 4K. They're using a 1080p monitor. So why would you need a card that can do 4K? So that's one of the things where you kind of have to start really thinking about that stuff. But I would definitely start working on some listicle content, whether it's, the best ones that you can get under 500, the best ones that you can get for under 750, the best ones you can get for under 1,000, which is, I know at 500, I'm being very, very optimistic. But, just come up with those prices according to what you see fit.
Don't forget about gaming laptops too. A lot of people are having to go ahead and give up on building their own PC, and they're looking at gaming laptops because it's a little bit easier, or at least it was when I was looking, to get one of those with a decent set of hardware specs.
Yeah.
All of these were brilliant answers, but they were all completely wrong because you couldn't guess what I was thinking about in my head. And the answer was purchasing decisions. What? How could anybody not get that out of my head?
What are you talking about?
Basically, what I'm saying is that we're approaching Q4, Christmas, Thanksgiving. People are buying gifts, Black Friday. People are going to be starting to make purchasing decisions and searching for all of these graphics cards. But you kind of all answered that in a roundabout fashion anyway.
Yeah, we did a good job.
I think you did, actually. Last word to Viper, and then I've got one last word, and then we'll move on. So that's 2 last words. Sounds a bit odd.
So, Rob, can we hit the home button real quick? I want to check something out.
All right. Home button it is, sir.
Okay, scroll down a little bit. Okay. Oh. All right, cool. All right. So what I was going to say is that, especially when you're a new creator starting out, a lot of times, especially if you have content all over the place, but this guy doesn't, but if you do, it might be hard for a new viewer to try to figure out what your channel is about. So it might be a good idea, and this guy is doing it, to incorporate playlists. Because that's the first thing that people see when they get to your YouTube channel page. If they see playlists, then they can look at the different playlists, and then they can decipher what your channel is about from the playlist that you put on the main page. So he's doing a good job. He's doing well. But yeah, definitely wanted to tell you all that playlists and having them on the homepage is a good way to get people familiar and comfortable with your channel.
Sweet stuff. The last thing I was going to mention was this is a really good example of when a channel has fantastic channel focus. You know, they've got 2,000 subscribers. View counts are very healthy, sometimes well exceeding subscriber count, which is always a good sign. But even when you have channel focus, look at how sometimes when you just stray a little bit, like you think it's like a similar topic, but it just isn't at all, because it's kind of going into the broad scale of gaming. Like you're telling people, you know, how to get maybe a cheaper version of Windows, and probably the video quality and the value is really good. But I guess from a YouTube recommendation standpoint, it just cannot work out how this content connects with your current audience, and so it hasn't shared it. And I think the creators realize that, because since then they've been on point with every single video. But that's just a really good example there of how sometimes once you get into a niche and you're a leader and an ambassador, straying out off topic can sometimes not work for the channel. But it was an experiment. It didn't work on that occasion. It didn't damage the channel for eternity. They tested something, it didn't work, and then moved on. And so a good example of testing, not working, and adapting.
Well, yeah, that's it. And here's something about that too, that how to get the cheap keys like that. There's a lot of companies that reach out to creators to push out that type of content. And this is where this channel, a little piece of direct advice for them is because it includes paid promotion. Here's what they should have done, because this does not align with his audience. So what he should have done, instead of doing a dedicated video, he should have done a 30-second ad spot across multiple videos. That could have been, in the end, much more lucrative, both on affiliate, and he could have gotten paid for 4 times versus 1 time, and including it in his regular videos that are going to get more views as opposed to one dedicated view. Sometimes you have to be the advocate for your audience. You know your audience better than this rando brand does. So you have to put your foot down and say, nah, a dedicated video, they're not going to respond to that, man. It's only going to get 100 views and it's not going to be worth your money. So how about we not waste your money and we put it into videos that are actually going to get views? So that's something where, just a little piece of advice from Mr. Overseer PC that I think would have worked a little bit better for you.
So Jeff, don't expect any sponsorship deals from CD having just
I already said no.
All right, let's move on. I like it. Pressure's on here now, Viper. We're going to get you much more involved in auditing other people's channels very, very soon. But we're in a guinea pig phase of trying out a new segment. That is live channel auditing, and we want to use as an example.
Rob, you are like cutting it out, bro.
Am I just not working?
Yikes.
All right, Dan, can you take over for a second? I'll see if I can get this fixed.
Sure. Uh-oh.
Wow.
I'm not
before
prepared for that.
you can do all that, though, before we go on.
Viper channel. Go. Right, I'll be back in a second.
Before we go, people in the chat, listen very closely. do not request a channel audit in the chat. In the description, there are forms that you need to go fill out and put your channel information in the form down in the description if you want to have a chance to have your channel audited. We are not taking random requests in the chat. A lot of times we're not even paying attention to the chat because we're busy auditing the channels on the screen. So if you want your channel audit, there are forms down in the description for you to fill out if you want a chance to have your channel audit. Doesn't mean it will get audited, but you have a much better chance of filling out the form in the description if you want your channel audited. Thank you very much.
All right. So Viper, we are taking a look at your channel here. First, tell us a little bit about your channel. What would we expect to see when we pay a visit?
Oh, well, the man about tech. You know, you're going to see tech content. You might see a lot of Apple content because that was my main focus for the past almost 2 years now. But I've more recently decided to open it up a little bit. But yeah, you're probably going to see mostly Apple content right now, especially given the fact that we are in iPhone season. So
it looks like lately you've been looking at cases for the new iPhone. It looks like quite a few videos about cases. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, every time a new iPhone gets released, I get email from case companies wanting me to look at their casing. So sometimes I do. This year, I kind of cut it down because, I mean, once you've seen one case video, you've seen them all. So I haven't done as many this year as I've done in years past, but still, yeah, there's a couple of case videos on the channel.
So, Rob, if you want to scroll, that's the one thing I have been able to do is actually scroll around.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
So can we scroll down to, okay. So it looks like one case video in particular really took off. It was the iPhone 13 Pro Nomad Modern Leather case. Almost 4,000 views on that.
Yep.
And it was, so were the subsequent case videos for doubling down on that?
Well, I mean, like I said, I had a few companies that reached out. Well, I had a couple of companies that reached out, Nomad and Poetic. They reached out about wanting to take a look at their case. And then I brought the Fijian case, and I want to do a video on the Fijian case because I'm trying to, at some point, I want to have a relationship with the Fijian brand. So I want to do the video anyway, just to get that out there, even though they didn't send out that case. So, yeah, again, it's not even like a quarter. I think one year I ended up doing like case video for 10 companies, and this is just like small potato compared to that. So, yeah.
That's better though, man. It's better to focus on the ones that you really like anyway.
Yes.
And then making the one about Spigen makes a lot of sense too, because you want to, you want to make that content. You want to, if you want to end up working with a company, you want to make sure you're proving value before you even ask or anything. So yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Let's see. So one thing is you cover a lot of different aspects of Apple products, right? I think at one time you told us you were covering a bunch of different types of tech too. Can you re-explain that? I think we talked about it somewhere else. So I don't know if this audience has heard that.
Yeah. So for the past 18, 20 months, I've been covering Apple-centric content, iPhones, iPads, AirPods, MacBooks, different things like that. Anything under the Apple umbrella, I was covering pretty much up until last month when I decided to brought back out again. But yeah, I've been covering mostly Apple content for the past almost 2 years.
So we're seeing some stuff about headphones. I see you did a Xbox versus PlayStation controller video. Appleton, that's spatial audio.
Yeah, the Xbox versus PlayStation stuff when I decided to try to kind of open it up a little bit. So that's what that is. But yeah, before that, basically mostly Apple stuff.
Can people hear me again?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So Jeff, I'd say you've been looking at this channel now for about 2-3 minutes. And if you were doing like a one-on-one channel audit consultation, like what might be the main question you're asking, or like the thing that Viper might want to focus on for the next 10 videos or a series of videos?
I would probably have to say really, really focusing in on whether you want it to be about accessories or about software, or really figuring out exactly who that viewer is and how we can dive deeper into that particular topic. So like more granular than Apple as a whole, or more granular than a new iPhone user. Just really really focusing in on exactly what it is they're going to need, because this is something you're going to see. Like, if we're going to go for accessories, right? Let's say new iPhone owner. If we're going to go for accessories, okay, but which iPhone owner? Is it going to be a teenager? Is it going to be a female iPhone owner? Is it going to be a male iPhone owner? And which way are you going to roll with that? And then moving forward from there is going to be cases. It's going to be screen protectors. It's going to be installs. It's going to be going that way if you go accessories. Or if you want to go the software and iOS route for the newer iOS updates, then shortcuts and optimization and the different tips and tricks and the different features. So it's really just going to be focusing in on exactly which lane within this highway of Apple content you want to pick for the next 10 videos, and really focusing on that really particular person, and just go after them full force, and run it as a 5 to 10 video experiment, and kind of get the data and see where things sit at the end of that.
And this is going to sound like a really naive question, but there are creators, and I'm not saying Viper's in this boat right now, but when you're starting off your channel, you're under 100 subscribers, you're just making videos. Why are you maybe suggesting pick a lane within the universe of Apple? Because hey, Apple's the largest company in the world. Like hundreds of millions of people use their products every single day. Surely there's enough of an audience for me to make anything about Apple.
Too much competition.
Okay.
So the competition is extremely high, and there are any number of channels that cover all Apple products, and there's just too many, and a lot of them own the space. So especially if you're up against these massive channels that have such huge draw, you have to find a way to find the subset of their audience, to find the space where they went too broad. So you're going to go narrow. You're going to focus in a little bit more. Even for general tech, and what drove me to going into headphones or to the audio space, but even then to niche it down further into just mostly earbuds, has been because that's where a lot of people were not focusing. So that's why I decided to focus my stuff that way. But that would be more why I would try to focus even deeper when going in Apple content, because there's too many people doing broad-based Apple content and not enough specialists. So, and that's why you see some of the specialists do really well. Our friend Gary, the Everyday Dad, focuses a lot on iPad content, and he's crushing it. And so you see people like that do the widgets and the updates for iOS, and the ones who really just focus on a particular topic in there, it can do really well for them. But that's just my thoughts. I mean, that's
Yeah, so Viper, as the content creator here under the microscope, so to speak, how might you respond to that? What are your, I guess, challenges with such an approach?
It's difficult as a creator, because you have to identify the lane that is going to be more beneficial to you as far as getting the most amount of viewers. But at the same time, as a creator, you gotta do stuff that you actually want to make content about. So
you have that pull,
yeah.
We all know about that.
Yeah, it's hard to sometimes get everything under the whole. It's kind of hard to have your cake and eat it too, because while I agree with you, you gotta identify a lane. If you're not passionate about making that content, then you're not gonna last long doing that type of content anyway. So you gotta find a happy medium somewhere, and that's I guess that's the riddle for all of us as content creators. We all have to find that happy medium. We have to identify what lane we can go in and be successful, but at the same time, be content and happy with what we're making as content creators.
That's always a challenge, isn't it? Making something that you enjoy as a content creator versus making something that an audience finds valuable. And I think, Jeff, you in your own experiences recently, you've been really focusing on your audience in terms of the content that you've been making. Jeff's currently celebrating a 1 of 10 and 2 of 10. And I can't remember the last time I had that on my channel. But congratulations there, Jeff. Let's talk. We've got 2 minutes left in this one-on-one minute channel audit consultation. Let's talk about thumbnails. And we'll start with Dan. I'll give you 30 seconds, Dan, and then we'll move on to Jeff.
I really like the thumbnails, especially on the phone case videos. I like how clean and consistent they are. I guess the one thing about them is that they're so consistent that sometimes I think if this video popped up in my home feed, there might be a chance that I thought, oh, I already watched that video, and may continue scrolling by it, because if the difference isn't distinct enough, especially the 2 Nomad ones, because the cases almost look the same, just flipped around. It's just kind of it looks very, very similar. So that would just be, if I were to nitpick, that would be mine.
Jeff?
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the change in them to kind of the cleaner background, so a little bit less busy more than anything else. So I like the way that they look, and then having the company name nice, big, bold, like the Spigen and Nomad and Poetic. It makes it a lot easier to understand exactly what it is and who would be searching for that for sure. But yeah, overall, yeah, I mean, I like the way it looks. So, and then one thing I always want to make sure everybody does, and I'm hoping the Viper's doing this anyway, is making sure, and it doesn't matter what niche you're in, it really comes down to the video that you're making. Look at what the thumbnails look like for successful videos in that, for that topic. Yeah, that's the Viper right there.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's Goldberg approaching
right.
there with an iPhone as a head.
Yeah.
Very funny.
But
I've got two final questions. Do you think Viper should be in a thumbnail or not? The hero. Very quickly, yes or no?
I would say no.
Okay. And do you think there should be as many logos in the thumbnails as there are? Or do you think the logo count is fine?
I would say too many logos.
All right. Time is up. Time is up. Time is up. We're all done. I'm sorry, Viper. We can't tear your channel apart anymore because in the channel Audit live stream, you just get the starter menu. We just talked a little bit about channel focus. We talked a little bit about thumbnails. But if you wanted to get this man's attention for an entire hour and his eyebrows at work doing all of the things, then you may want to check out Boost Plus Coaching, which will give you the opportunity to have a one-on-one consultation where we'll talk not only about your channel focus, thumbnails, but we'll look at the back-end analytics. We'll see how vidIQ's tools can integrate into the growth of your channel, and many of the things that we'll be discussing over the next 90 minutes. 5 minutes on each topic here in this live stream. Jeff, Alexi, Travis will be covering that in detail for you. So Jeff, you're in the trenches with this every single day. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and how the audits work.
Well, it's a couple of different things, right? So I'm, basically I'm not like a sales guy for vidIQ. So I'm not like there or talking to you to try to get you to buy a different product. More than anything, I'm there to answer any types of questions you might have around our product. And secondly, to talk about YouTube strategy, to bounce some ideas back and forth, to give you a second set of eyes on your analytics to see if there's anything that you might have missed. Most of the time, what actually ends up happening is I end up talking to a lot of creators who are just not familiar with their analytics and what they mean. They know where things are, but they don't know exactly what does that data mean and how should you react to it and what should be your next step. So that's the sort of stuff that we get into. Talk about thumbnail strategy, title strategy, competitor analysis is a big one as well. So, and that's just a taste of the small stuff we do. But even just having somebody to talk to about this sort of stuff is incredibly helpful, because as many creators, all in the chat, all of us here on the panel know that doing YouTube and content creation is very lonely. Most people in your real life aren't content creators, so they cannot relate. So just having somebody else to talk to about this sort of stuff is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, it's funny. You just made me think about the last time, like many of you probably watching this live stream personally interacted with somebody on your channel is when you told your family and your friends to subscribe to the channel when you first started it. And since then, it's all been digital feedback over the internet and whatnot. And as you say, we love talking about channels, and we get to do that for 2 hours a week. And we talk about many channels, but for you to talk individually, it's such a great opportunity. We know this isn't for everybody because it does cost a certain amount, and we're aware of that. If there's 5 or 10 people who are sort of on the fence on this, watching this live stream, we definitely recommend you check out the page on screen now and the link in the description. And who knows? This may be the start of a good collabing experience with vidIQ. I know Travis has tutored many gaming channels, weirdly enough, even though he never audits gaming channels on his live stream. He's guided many gaming channels into business empires. And Jeff, have you got a highlight of a channel that you've helped in the past or still are consulted with and the journey they've been on?
There's been a few, but I think probably one of the most outstanding ones was a music reaction channel, actually, who was kind of struggling with doing a lot of different content on their channel. And once we got them to be focused on a particular genre of reactions, their trajectory completely changed. So that is something that is working very well for them. They have some monetization issues because they do music reactions, but because they've grown quickly enough, they're able to monetize outside of ad revenue. They're able to do merchandise and digital product and Patreon. So they've managed to basically build the influence in the audience first and then monetize afterwards, but it's working very well for them.
So yeah, it's gone beyond content strategy now. It's empire building, isn't it?
Right.
You know, the revenue it's going to sustain them as a channel, as a content creator, and then hopefully maybe sustain them professionally and their family beyond. So Boost Plus Coaching, do check it out. Link in the description, banner running across the bottom. But with all that being said, Viper, thank you for being our guinea pig this week. We're going to continue to test this and see if it works. We're going to bring on more guests for live channel audit streaming. But Viper, I think it's time for you to sink your teeth into one of the channels we've picked. And so what do you think of this one? You can lead with a Race Master. What have we got here?
Ooh, first off, let me just say that I love the sneaky way that he draws people to subscribe at the top right of the banner. Join the race crew. Please subscribe button right there. Arrow pointing to the button. That is kind of brilliant. I like that. Racing Hot Wheels to have fun. Okay, so it looks like I guess the channel is about racing Hot Wheels. So we got a bowling race challenge. We got a bridge. I mean, is this like video game racing or is it like real life Hot Wheel racing? Not all. It's hard to tell.
So that is a brilliant question.
Yeah, like
let's start talking about thumbnails here. First of all, the channel is new. They have 30 subscribers, 10 videos. Yep. They're using custom thumbnails. Brilliant. You're onto a good start here. But that's the disconnect, isn't it? The thumbnail doesn't allow us to set any expectation. We have no idea what we're getting into when we click on a thumbnail. I can mouse over a couple, I think, and show you. Is it going to work? All right, let's break my internet and play one of these and see if it's going to work. Regular viewers will notice my frustration at this point where just nothing works.
Looks like it's actual. He's building the tracks and stuff from the preview.
Yeah.
There. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So that answers the question, Viper, as to what type of content it is. It's like, it's not a video game or anything.
Yeah, it's like real life.
Building these.
The other thing, and what you guys just told me on my thumbnail, they all look too similar. So you might feel like you missed one because the thumbnails do look too similar. So you might want to figure out a way to change them up a little bit while still keeping that branding consistent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The wallpaper, the thumbnail wallpaper is something that you can fall victim to very quickly. And that's where all your thumbnails look essentially the same. Hot Wheels logo, the checkered flag, the orange background. So that's something where what Rob is doing now is something that I try to teach people is to look at what successful thumbnails in your space look like. And one of the more important things is not just to look at the best one or the best three and then copy. Look at least somewhere between 5 and 10, but start looking for the patterns in what made them successful. Is it a real life shot? Is it a like a CGI picture? Or what exactly is it amongst all of them? Look for the patterns in all of them and then pull that strategy in for your own thumbnail.
These thumbnails are, sometimes we look at some topics where the thumbnails are appalling. They're amazing. I mean, the competition here is phenomenal. Yeah. Now, we're not saying to this creator that they need to start making these types of thumbnails now. There's going to be an evolution, a learning process.
Yeah.
But this is what you're going to be competing against in terms of a Hot Wheel genre. And that's, I think, what you need to get closer to.
So it looks like those up close pictures were pretty popping. So, yeah.
I mean, this is perfect for like a phone camera too, because you can just get right in there with your phone and take really gorgeous pictures. Put your phone in portrait mode, let it blur the background for you. Like your thumbnails will be on point and really, really easy to make. Because I bet you that template took a while to set up, and now he's just kind of reusing that template, for all the videos. for the channel we were looking at. I wanted to, huh?
I was going to say, let's go back to the original channel here.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing this channel could be doing is improving on thumbnails. But one thing I want to talk about real quick was the editing, because when you scrub through that video, what we saw was one shot on the camera that never moved. It kind of stayed static, and the camera was set across the room. So if we scrub through this one, does anything kind of change other than them kind of moving around? No, minute in, no, minute 30.
Oh, there's a little bit there. Looks like maybe a little bit of B-roll.
Okay.
But that's 1 minute 40 in.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm getting at, because I do see stuff popping up on the screen. But what I would be doing is, once you get, we're giving you a lot here. So fit this into your improvement schedule. I wouldn't do this all for your next video. Work on the thumbnails a little bit, make little improvements here and there. But one place I want you to get to is when you're filming these videos, you have you standing there talking, explaining what's going on, but I want you to be taking extra shots. And you can do this with one camera. Of course, more cameras is always better. If you could set up some GoPros on the table, getting extra shots, make your life a lot easier. Make that a goal for later. But you have to build something, maybe on a wide shot, and then it's going to help your production quality if you build it again on a tight shot. So get the camera in there, get your hands kind of clipping stuff together, and do the race a few times. This is kind of what goes into production. This is why things get faked, quote unquote, sometimes, because sometimes to get the shot, you have to kind of set it up a few different ways, get a few different shots, and now you have B-roll. So you always use the audio of you standing there talking, and then you're overlaying these really cool, tight close-up clips, and all that stuff is going to improve your retention. And if people are engaged with your entire, very short videos, by the way, 3-minute videos, 4-minute videos, perfect length, but you might be losing people really early, and that's what we're trying to fix.
Yeah, I agree with Dan. You definitely want to get some close-up of the cars in action, like racing around the track. I don't know how you go about doing that. Maybe put a smartphone down and get, like Dan said, get close up in there and do some recording. But you standing there over the track, I mean, yeah, that could be good for like a talking point of the video. But if that's the whole video, then you're going to lose viewers because they're there to see the cars. They're not there to see you. Because that's another thing that creators don't realize, especially when you're first starting out on YouTube. If somebody clicks on your video, they're not there for you because they don't know you. So you have to give them more of the content that they are there for. And in this case, it's Hot Wheels. They are there to see the Hot Wheels in action. They're not there to see you talk about the Hot Wheels. So if you can get close-ups of the Hot Wheels racing around your track, that will go a long way, as Dan alluded to increasing that retention of viewers. But yeah, definitely try to figure out how to get some close-ups of the cars in action.
Can somebody just say some more stuff? Because I've thought up of a...
One thing I would say,
I've thought up a poll that I want to add now.
Oh yeah, go for it, man. Well, one thing I would say is also, I like that they're keeping their titles short, but one of the things, I know Hot Wheels is obvious in the thumbnails, but we might want to make sure that we're including a valuable keyword as Hot Wheels in your title at somehow in some way. If not, just make sure that you're saying them in the video, that you're actually saying those words in the video is incredibly important. But aside from that, I agree with all that was said here. Try not to do everything all at once, but take some notes. On your next video, try to work on whether it's improving the thumbnail. Next video, try to improve on working on those angles, things of that nature. But little by little, one step at a time. You're only, I'd say 6 months, 5 months. So you're not too deep into this yet. But there's definitely a lot of room for improvement here.
I just started a popularity contest in the live stream chat. For
Rob trying to start trouble out here.
The one thing I want to say at the end of this all is, creator, I'm going to ask you to commit to consistency, because you created a swathe of content over 2 months and then one video in the last 4 months. I don't know why that's happened. Obviously, life gets in the way. But can you commit to making one video a month up until the end of the year, 1 minute video a fortnight, etc., etc.? That's going to really work the muscle memory of your content creation and the many things that we've suggested here for the channel. But encouraging stuff for a very small channel, 30 subscribers, views into double digits already. Some channels really struggle with that. And making custom thumbnails, but there's lots of tweaks that we've suggested there that you can work on. Dan, tell us about Discord.
Discord is a place, and you can be there. The link is down below, or you can go to vidIQ.com/Discord, And if you want to chat about YouTube, well, there's all kinds of people in there who are on YouTube who like chatting about YouTube. If you want to share your latest video, don't do that. Just don't go in there and post your link. You'll be kicked out. But if you want to share your latest thumbnail and maybe get some feedback on it, Discord, great place to do that. Talk analytics, talk titles, just make some friends. The one thing we talked about earlier was that it's kind of hard to find other people on this creator journey with you, especially if you're just hanging out with family and friends and they just don't get it. But this is a whole bunch of people in one place who do. So check it out. Link is down below. And then sometimes people in there are giving awesome advice, and we randomly pick one of them for a channel audit. So today, that is NBA Now. NBA Now is someone who's been somebody who's been contributing a lot to the community, and we're now going to audit their channels and their channel. And I really like the banner.
Well, let me just start with this. So I moved to Canada 7 years ago, and I tried to get into all of the American sports, and I'm going to rank them thus.
Okay.
Baseball, NFL, hockey, lacrosse, NBA. I cannot get into basketball at all. So I'm just going to leave it to you folks who know what you're talking about.
Wow.
All those things you said, there's like a list of things I like that's over them. All those things are at the bottom. I'm not a sports person.
Bro, we don't even.
I said that. Are we checking out, Dan?
We don't even recognize lacrosse, man. Nobody talks about lacrosse here in the U.S.
Hey, it's the sport of Canada, apparently.
Oh, it's a sport, definitely, but we don't really talk about it much here. All right, first thing, the banner. Nice banner, but it doesn't tell me anything about your channel besides you're talking about the NBA. Like, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to the NBA. Are you covering NBA news? Are you doing game recaps? Are you talking about players, statistics? Like, what exactly are you talking about in relation to the NBA? That's my first thing. I like the thumbnails. The thumbnails look pretty good, but the banner doesn't tell me anything about the channel.
Yeah, thumbnails are very distinct. I don't think I've seen this style before, so I think it's very striking. But what I will say from a non-basketball knowledge point of view is I think there's a certain expectation set here. Like if you look at the video titles, it looks as if it's talking about things that are going on in the NBA right now. And then whenever I mouse over one of these, I'm pretty sure that's the video game, like NBA 2K maybe.
Yep.
And not actually real footage. Now, maybe it's one of those types of channels where the person is using gaming footage and then talking about real events, because they can't get the actual NBA footage for copyright reasons. So I'm just wondering about expectations versus reality. And what I'm a little worried about is that people see the thumbnail, they click on it, and the first thing they're presented with is... Okay, so him talking a little bit about it, I think... And then a mouse over, and I think it's just them playing a game, basically playing maybe the game, these two teams, or this person and Miami Heat. So yeah, that was my fault. Maybe checking the audience retention in the first couple of minutes and how maybe the thumbnails and then the videos possibly disconnect. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong here.
I think having their name appear in every single thumbnail is kind of just... They see some negative space in the corner and they're like, I should put something there. I think you should be changing that text to just like one chunk of text, 2 to 3 words that add impact and play off the title in some way. You did it in the latest thumbnail. It says, hold up. That's kind of what I'm talking about, that it expresses an emotion, but then you still put NBA Now. Your channel name is going to appear under all your videos and search and stuff anyway. So we don't really need it there. And it leaves room for something more relevant to that particular video, because that's really important. The title and the thumbnail need to play off of each other, and see if you can stitch those together to tell more of a story.
Yes, definitely.
I think not now that we've seen the footage being gameplay footage, like video game footage. I don't know. This is going to be a tough conversation to have, but I wonder if they, first of all, maybe they should introduce themselves on camera, because I think that's one reason they're using this footage. They don't have anything else to show. If they do that, then you might, and I would just do some research on this, but you might have license to use small clips from games because you're adding transformative footage to or transformative narrative to them. So you would use them as B-roll lightly here and there and talk about a certain shot that happened or something like that. But most of the footage will be you talking to the camera. Because I would think if I clicked on this video looking for some NBA news, I would think I just stumbled upon a gaming channel. And Rob, you alluded to this as being something maybe you've seen before. I've never known anyone to make videos like this, so this is kind of surprising to me.
It's just I've seen some examples like YouTube education channels, like if we're talking about how to start a gaming channel, they're not actually taking screenshots and B-roll of like the creation of a channel or anything. They're just playing a game, and it's really those channels get tons of views, and I'm very frustrated about it. But anyway, that's something for another day.
The problem with this footage is it busts credibility right out of the gate. So if you're talking about a real thing that happened in the real NBA, but then I'm greeted with a video game, I'm going to instantly think, oh, you mean in this imaginary like story you're telling within the game, this didn't actually happen. You're just playing the game and talking about the news of your latest session. Like that's where my mind would go immediately. And it would take me a long time to catch up. But by the time my brain did, I'd be 3 videos away. I'd be somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a disconnect there. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So that we've unfortunately, the reason I'm sad now is because we've just told this channel to fundamentally change every single thing about the video.
And Dan and I know nothing about basketball, and then we just took over the channel audit as well.
But we know about audience retention, and I think we understand viewers, to a degree. So that's where that advice is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I think we understand what's going on here. Like you guys said, he's using the video game footage because he can't really use the real NBA footage. But like Dan said, you kind of can, as long as you're not using too much of it, and as long as you are talking over it, you are allowed to use it. It's called, like they said, it's called transformative content, and it's legal. So if you're not using actual NBA footage because you're afraid of getting sued, I will look into fair use. That's definitely something you might want to do some research on. And yeah, some of that footage you are allowed to use under the Fair Use Act. So
attribution also helps too.
Or what they could do if they're not, afraid of using any content from the NBA, is they could have themselves on camera while they're playing this game, and then it shifts from the video game to them like doing this. I'm playing the game's playing. I'm in one of the corners, but hey, I've got something really important to tell you about how Kyle Lowry is going to deal with Miami Heat, and these are my thoughts. And I'm going to bullet point them all up here for about 2 minutes. Playing the game, so there's kind of some nice editing going on there.
Yeah, makes sense. Just to kind of it makes it a bit more dynamic because you're shifting angles, you're shifting what the viewer sees, you're keeping their attention fresh. And I think that could definitely help with retention. But I'm in agreement with the other guys that there's definitely a disconnect. And that's something that can definitely be worked on for sure.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is the moment for you to teach us about a term that I hear you use a lot. Pattern interrupts. Can you talk about what pattern interrupts are and what they mean to videos?
Okay, so pattern interrupts are re-engaging the viewer as frequently as possible to keep them engaged. So like, I'm going to switch to me. That's a pattern interrupt of some kind because I'm bringing me up front, and now I'm going to put pressure on Dan to say something really important. You see, Dan's got controls as well, so he can do what he wants as well. So, right, whoa. So yeah, there's all sorts of pattern. Now this is all useless pattern interrupt right now. We're just trying to have some fun and keep it comedic. But yeah, Jeff, say something.
Something.
Viper, say something.
What's up, people? What's up? There
we go. I knew Viper would deliver. So yeah, that's kind of like the pattern interrupt that we're talking about there. It's adding something of intrigue and exciting, re-engaging the viewer, keeping it exciting. I try and do it every 15 seconds, perhaps in my content, but that adds a big layer of editing on. But that's what keeps an audience engaged and retained on content. Thank you for asking that.
I'm experimenting with that right now. My last 2 videos are heavy experiments with different methods and using a secondary camera for a new angle. And it's all an experiment on audience retention and what's going to keep them. Do I need to do more? Do I need to do less? So it's all experiment, but it's things that you want to play with as you're creating your content and looking at your analytics and how you can improve. For me personally, that's probably my weakest point is audience retention. So that's something that I want to improve, and I'm experimenting to see what's going to work and what doesn't.
Now, we've kind of gone off into this conversation. We could be wrong with all of this. It could be the NBA Now's channel gets amazing audience retention, but we're just looking at it from first impressions perspective and what we can see. There are positive signs here, and the fact that the channel has got 40 subscribers, view count seem to be around about subscriber size or above. I just think the pitch is very strong. The thumbnails are very distinct and unusual. I've never seen this style used before, which I think is probably leading to some good click-through rate. But yeah, I think maybe the value or the quality of the content is probably where this channel wants to be looking at next. And of course, the NBA season, I think it's starting now-ish, like in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
So there should be even more interest on the channel very soon. I think we'll move on to the next channel then. We have a Twitter competition every single week. And Daniel, our community manager, decided that he would ask you all to submit GIFs or GIFs that make you happy. And the winner this week was KP, who sent us a lovely picture of a couple of, I'm going to say, otters, maybe beavers, enjoying themselves in the water there. And so we're going to audit their channel. And just when I look at their channel, like very first impressions, I start to think, did they make that GIF themselves?
Oh,
because they are what looks to be a channel about sea animal life. K Passionate, 2,500 subscribers. We'll let Jeff lead with this one.
So let's see what we got going on here. So K Passionate, first things first. I get where people think that putting their name in their banner is a good idea. Your name is already right there. It's right up front. It's K Passionate, right next to your logo. So don't waste that space. Put your value proposition in your banner. Let people know what am I going to get from K Passionate? Because right now I have no idea. I'd have to go to the about section like Rob has done here to let us know what's going on. But I want you to tell me that in 3 words. So it's good to have the full description, but can you break it down to me in 3 words exactly what I'm going to get from you? Marine biology videos or animal, conservation, whatever you want to put it, whichever way makes sense, not only to you, but would make sense to the viewers that you're targeting. That's what you would want to have in your artwork there. And then as we move down into the actual videos, it looks like we've got a combination because there's some shorts, plus we've also got a 9-minute and a 10-minute video as well. So it looks like it looks like they're a combination channel right now. It looks like they're doing a little bit of both. Let's see. One of the things I will say though, thumbnail wise, it's really cool seeing like the animal in there and stuff, but the text is getting lost in some of these thumbnails. Like if you look at this reintroducing sea otters, the text that they just chose to use, because of the busy background, you start to lose. So at a glance, all I saw was introducing sea otters. The RE at the beginning was lost in the rock. And then all the way on the far right, I see combat, but how sea otters combat climate change, that's, first of all, that's way too many words for a thumbnail. And you got to figure out a way of, if you're going to use text, use less, make it bigger, or don't use it. So that's something that I would definitely be looking into. Otherwise, let the gorgeous, cute, adorable sea otter in the thumbnail, let that attract people.
I haven't put too much thought into this, but my value proposition, just reading, going through the description very quickly, was sea life matters. Might be one as a potential value prop. You're right, Jeff, and I think they're doing maybe one long video a week and then almost a short every single day, which is brilliant. And I'm really encouraged by the numbers here. 2,500 subscribers, both the shorts and the longs, if we use that phrase, are getting similar view counts, which is something that's very, very rare to see a channel being able to merge the two well. So anybody who's looking at shorts and longs on the same channel, definitely keep an eye on this channel. and see what they're doing.
Yeah, the short
here.
strategy is good. I wouldn't mess with any of that with what they're doing there because obviously it's working. So definitely want to keep that going for sure. I think if anything, it's just kind of trying to see if we can possibly raise the performance of their longer form videos. But overall, I mean, it's looking pretty good. Performance wise, the channel is looking healthy from what I'm seeing here so far. Can we do one thing though, really quick? See if they're doing anything on their community tab.
A little bit.
Okay. So just one trick for anybody who's got access to it, and you know, Rob and everybody's familiar that YouTube has begun to open this up to creators that are 500 subscribers or more.
Today.
Yep. So they're starting to open that up for people. So one of the beautiful things about the community tab is that you can schedule posts. So what I'll usually do is I'll sit down one day of the week, I'll come up with 3 ideas and I'll schedule them out. And one of the things that we've seen that works better is polls, asking your community questions, whether you're just trying to gather data on them or looking for engagement, and pictures by far. GIFs are also supported. And in certain instances, you can actually have up to 5 photos in the community tab. So something to keep in mind, but I really want to encourage people who have access to the community tab to please use it. Don't ignore it. It is shown to not only your subscribers, but to different, you know, to other people on YouTube who like similar content. So it's another way that you can start attracting new viewers to your channel. So please take advantage of it.
I will open the floor to comments from anyone else if they have any.
Okay. These thumbnails, man, I understand what's going on because some of these are short videos, and I think a lot of people don't make actual thumbnail for short because, you know, in the short shelf, they take away the thumbnail anyway. But your videos don't live in the short shelf forever, and eventually they will be out of the short shelf. And when they do, you want to have an actual custom thumbnail created when your video leaves the short shelf for the rest of the audience, the rest of YouTube. So I would suggest actually going back and making some actual dedicated thumbnail for even for your short content. It just looks better on the channel, and it makes the video more noticeable when, you know, when content is being searched on YouTube. But that's just a personal thing of mine.
And I'm just tracking. Oh, that's a scary thumbnail. I'm just tracking the what's generally used for otters, and I think you're right, Jeff, in that the hero is definitely the cute animal, particularly when you can catch them in some sort of action like this one, really powerful. And then how the text is used there. White tends to work on blue, dark blues with just like a hint of a drop shadow there, really working nicely.
And that looks exactly like the same text, or sorry, it's an app to add text to pictures and thumbnails. It's an app called Fonto. It looks exactly the same because I used that same exact text before. It's a free app, but yeah, I mean, it's super easy to use, and you can add text and you can add drop shadows and strokes and all kinds of stuff. So definitely something where like this white one, for instance, the reintroducing sea otters, if this would have had a black drop shadow or a different stroke around it, it would have made it pop a lot more, made it easier to read. But that's just something to think about.
Yeah, well, I think what we're basically saying here is that the creator is designing their thumbnail at this size where, oh yeah, I can read all of that. Cool, nice. But when your average Joe public gets to it, we're seeing the thumbnail at this size, probably even smaller, probably it's something like that size. And then, as you said, Jeff, all of us can only read the word combat and nothing else. I mean, with those glasses, Jeff, I don't know how you can even read all that.
Here's the thing also, and here's one of the things I do. I actually design the layout of my thumbnails on my phone. So,
right.
and that helps me like constantly have it at a smaller scale. And then once I want to go into do the detail work, then I move it over to the iPad to go in and do the detail and the text and all that stuff. But just the way I'm going to lay out, like here's going to be where the text, here's where the product's going to be placed. I'll do it on my phone just to make sure that it never gets bigger than so big, because I don't want to lose the context of what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The other thing is that when you are creating thumbnails, you have to make sure that your thumbnails are viewable on a mobile device, because most people are watching YouTube from their mobile device. And if your thumbnails aren't crafted for mobile viewers in mind, you are missing out.
iCave Dave is next, and they're making a big commitment to their audience. Daily Apple news at noon. Do they live up to their own hype? I think the answer is yes here. Looking at the volume of content, I think they've made a promise to their audience and they meet it. I've seen a lot of content here for a channel with 9,000 subscribers. Very, very healthy numbers here. So I think maybe the power of this channel, we were talking, Jeff, a little bit earlier about why a creator should maybe find their particular spot, their lane in Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this channel looks as if it's doing whatever they want, but I guess their spot is that they're going to make daily content, daily Apple news content.
Yeah,
and so that allows them to cover all of these different aspects, because that's their value proposition, rather than being, I guess, just a general Apple channel.
Yeah. No, I mean, one thing also is the thumbnails actually look very good as well. That's one thing that also helps. It always comes down to how the content is, how engaging it is as well. But I'm also not sure exactly what got them to the point, but still, I mean, the view counts, they do look healthy. So I do like what I'm seeing as far as that goes. And they are Apple centric for sure. And it looks like they're doing some of the stuff around leaks and stuff as well.
Yeah.
There's some live streams around the Apple event. Let's see here. Interesting. Yeah, and a lot of it, and here's the interesting thing too, they don't show themselves in the thumbnails very often. It's really very, very heavy product based, which is fine. Just as one thing I always want to make sure people are aware, different things work for different genres and different niches. And for certain verticals on YouTube, having your face is a must, and for others it really is not. So this is something to really pay attention to and see what's working in your space.
All right, let's look at the most popular here. I sense a theme here, both in terms of color and styling. So let's just go back to the everyday stuff. You can see that the thumbnails are of a decent quality, but there's quite a lot of variety in the colors and the styles. But then when I get to the most popular, it's that Apple color scheme that they've currently got, with the blues and the purples, almost a bit Instagrammy. But then is there a particular topic as well? I'm seeing that all of these are being driven through laptop,
M1.
Laptop and laptop chips.
It's M1, M1X. Yeah, it's a big thing. There's a lot of channels that are focused on that, and it's working very well for them. That's driving a ton of traffic, and it's obviously bleeding over to some of the other related Apple content as well.
Now, usually we might suggest that the creator say, right, let's double down on M1 stuff specifically. Given that this is the path the least resistance of most views, would we give the same advice to this channel?
Personally, I would. I mean, I would be looking at what's worked best for them and find ways that you can continue to double down on the success of that, especially if your target audience is interested in this particular topic, which it is really hot right now. And even to further in on that, my own Twitter feed was bombarded by the new Apple event that's coming up next week. So if I was an Apple channel, guess what I'd be talking about today?
There you go. Jeff, right there.
Yeah, and that's in this next event, as far as we know, is going to be literally what his bread and butter on the channel is, which is the MacBooks. So it's like, now it's your time to shine, baby. You got to get to work.
What we're saying, Dave, is that if you don't have 20,000 subscribers by in the next week, we're gonna have questions, bro. We got questions.
So I'm very quickly going through this. I'm thinking, like, could the channel possibly be dropping these? I feel as if these might be the videos that the creator enjoys doing, like researching a bit of history and stuff, but they're not necessarily working for this channel's particular audience.
If anything, I would hold off on these ideas right now during Techtober. And I would just basically backburner them, because tech season is going to hit a massive slowdown come January. And at that point, you're going to have a drought. You're going to be like, well, what am I going to make content about now? These are the ideas you want to be pushing out then. Even if they don't perform as well, but still, if you want to do some of the stuff that might be more long-term or more videos that are for you or for your really core community, I would hold off on that for now. Focus on what's new, what's trending during tech season, during Q4, and move some of the historical stuff, maybe push it back a little bit. Because right now is your time to shine. So
beautiful. I'm just checking if they're using the community tab, which they are, which is good to see. Maybe you can add some links to videos in your polls. Give that a try. We've been experimenting with that recently.
Works a lot better.
I Cave Dave. And the next channel we're going to look at is a channel with a wonderful name, The Lawn Father. I ain't going to forget that. Approaching 2,000 subscribers. I think, Dan, is this the one that you picked pre live stream?
Yes. Yeah. Right. I was really excited about it because they have a very specific niche. It seems like they have a lot of ideas. You kind of wonder, where could you take a channel like this? And you just scroll through their library of content like, apparently a lot of places.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting to me. They have healthy view counts. Some videos performing a lot better than others, especially when you look at the most viewed. It's pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I think I did that just beforehand. And I think it's where the lawn care content seems to perform better than actual product reviews, just as a general oversight.
And that's definitely one idea too. Like when you see stuff like this, you think, okay, people really like these lawn care videos. They like seeing the lines in the grass and how to get them and all this stuff. You want to include your product reviews in those videos, and kind of like we talked about earlier, like a 30-second like blurb about it. Like, by the way, the mower I'm using today is a blah blah blah, and they're actually the sponsor of this video. Go check them out. Link below. You know, because if you try the product reviews and they continue to not perform, you have to kind of re-strategize. But sorry, what, Rob?
Sorry, sidebar. We have to try this. People in the chat as well. Lawnmowers are with wrestling names, so I'm going to call my lawnmower the Grass Decapitator 2000.
Okay. Mine will be 10,000 cuts.
Good. Jeff?
I would say Jimmy Superfly Lawnmower. You put me on the spot, man.
I don't know where to go.
Hey,
can
I have a new one? Mine is the lawnmower thrower.
Again?
The lawnmower thrower.
All right, Viper.
Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I can go with the lawn viper.
And I'm gonna. We got the lawn ranger, bushweed whacker. What else have we got? Master grasser. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Let's get back to the channel. Sorry, what was that one?
Yes, Roddy Mower Piper.
You did it.
We broke Rob.
Yeah, well, I'm Brooke. Please continue, everyone.
Well, you're the only one that can go to the next channel. What are you doing? Come back here.
No, but this is good. I like lawn channels. Just as a fun fact, I do watch satisfying lawn makeover videos are very satisfying for me. There's some channels that have blown up huge in that genre. So, and I mean massive views, but there's definitely ways of doing this, whether it's showing, the yard makeover tips and tricks. But I really like what exactly they're doing here. Looks good. The name is good. I think more than anything, I think we just need to see a little bit more of consistency in their thumbnails because they're a little all over the place.
That was my biggest critique looking at the channel. I think the area of most improvement for them is going to be thumbnails. There's a lot of great thumbnails here. No, we're losing Rob again.
Rob, you're in the vortex again, sir.
Oh, no.
All right, Dan, you're in charge, sir.
Yeah. So I think with these pictures, they're nice and simple, right? They are utilizing text, but I think they're doing it the right way. And the one thing that's always the hero is the lawn. The text supplements what's going on. It plays off the title. But at the end of the day, what do people with lawns want? green lawns, and they make sure that that is the primary thing you're going to see in the picture. Even when it's a video about sprinklers, as we're seeing here, nice green lawn in the background. There's no mistaking it. And sometimes the channel we were looking at, which Rob can't go to right now, but he will be back in a moment. They had a lot of text covering. I was thinking what they might be deeming as negative space. You know, just areas that like, well, I should have put something here. And I noticed in the videos that were performing really, really well from the past, it was mostly the lawn. You know, the lawn was the hero of the shot. And you can't really call that negative space. Like in that thumbnail at the top there, how to get a dark green lawn in one step. I wouldn't have even put that text, honestly, because it does play off the title. It's not the same as the title, but it's still like that lawn is nice and green, and it tells me everything I need to know. I'm trying to add something to my lawn. I want it to be nice and green, and ooh, look at that. You know, don't change it. Obviously worked, but
yeah.
Can we look at the videos from more recent times?
Yes, if I'm working again and people
Yeah,
can
it
hear
looks
me.
like, yeah. So red text on the thumbnail is always something we advise against. Toro Time Master, I think that says, and it's really, really hard to read. You would have been better off putting white text with like a nice thick black stroke. Maybe your font choice there is a little bit too thin as well. This time, the time is now overseeding. It's hard to read these, especially in the white text, white sky. Not enough for the text to like bounce off of like a black stroke or a dark shadow behind it would have helped.
Yeah, I agree. I think what would have been a better move here with that Toro Time Master would have been to remove that. And I know it's not easy pulling in the logos. If you're not a Photoshop expert, it's not that easy. There are ways to do it though. I've figured out how to do them myself using my phone. But that would have been a better use of just a Toro logo in that thumbnail if needed, or zoom in a little bit closer like you did on this second row right in the middle where you see the Toro logo really big. That's pretty obvious what that is because the logo is right there. But yeah, I think it would have been a better move that way.
Good to see that the channel is doubling down on what I think is a prime keyword for them, overseeding. You know, I've had that breakthrough piece of content there, followed it up here with 2 videos that are performing well above subscriber count. So keep up with that as and when you can. Thank you for all of the lawnmower as wrestler suggestions. Brilliant. I must have broke my computer as I was banging on the desk there. They were hilarious. All right, then. We are overdue, late as always, but let's get to it. The second best vidIQ bed that we have, closely followed by Defend Indefensible, which we only get to use once a month. So this is the Claw, and what it's going to do is pick out numbers from these channels. We have around about 300 max submissions, perhaps.
Hold on, Rob. We got to make sure we do this right, though. Say it with me, everybody in the chat. The Claw. All praise the Claw.
All right. So, Jeff, if you want to do that sound effect every time the claw goes in, by all means. So, like 3, 2, 1.
The Claw.
267. All right.
The Claw has spoken.
That's right.
The Claw has spoken. 267. And so this is what we do. We take your channels and we plop those channel addresses into the browser. We have no idea what we're going to encounter here. But the first channel is A Life with Dom and Nico, a documentation of our lives. I would love to see some illustrations of your life in the channel banner, just as a first suggestion. And you are approaching 100 subscribers. You're relatively new on your YouTube journey. Already some breakout content. Very encouraging stuff here. Hundreds of views on all of your... I mean, for a blog to be getting hundreds of views already is fantastic. For one of these blogs to get 3,500 views, brilliant. They've got something going here. Very encouraging stuff. What do we reckon?
And they're also an interracial couple from what I can tell as well. So looks like Caribbean and Finland. You see the two flags? Yeah, cultural differences. So
Yeah.
that too. So that's an excellent play on that as well. So interesting dynamic.
So one thing that they're doing, and I don't know if they realize they're doing this or not, they probably do, is every vlog channel, in my opinion, if you're going to start out, you still need a theme. You need an underlying thing that's going to bring people to you. Because if it's just you, in one video you're making breakfast, and then in another video you're going to the store, and just showing off your life in general, as the banner says, it doesn't really draw people in. But what this channel is doing is that they're using their culture, and their cultures in this case, to bring people in. And because that seems to be the theme, we're seeing a lot of really interesting places in the thumbnail, and we're seeing interesting conversations happening. And I don't know if they realize they're doing that, but I think that's exactly what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really hinting that theme in the description or in the channel banner right now, Dan. So I think you picked up on some almost a subconscious theme that maybe they can start to promote and encourage as they realize if their community is really engaging well with that. Pretty good thumbnails, I would say, to suggest as well. I mean, this one I think naturally is the one that's jumping out to me most, just because of the way the thumbnail is designed, and you've got that little arrow pointing in a direction really good. I'd love to know what made this video so successful, and I'll be dipping into the comments perhaps as well, and picking out why that was successful. Oh, only 16 comments. Okay. So the engagement isn't that high there. So that starts to make me wonder if this is being shared externally somewhere. That could be an explanation as to why. Not necessarily a bad thing.
It could have been posted, in another location. It might be that YouTube isn't their first place that they make their content. Maybe they were doing this somewhere else, and they brought on, like Instagram, for example. TikTok is there.
Yeah, they do have TikTok and Instagram, so that might be one area. It's funneling some of their content.
So while we have this brief interlude, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier about text and thumbnails. I can barely read the text on these thumbnails. You all really have to make sure that if you are going to use text on your thumbnails, that we can read it, and it can also be read at a smaller scale. Again, if you're making text, if you're making thumbnails and you have text in your thumbnails on YouTube, you have to make sure that they can be read from a cell phone, because your thumbnails are going to be shrunk down to a mobile size, because that's where most people are watching YouTube. So you need to go back and make sure that your thumbnails are mobile friendly, text included. If the text can't be read at a smaller scale, or if it's difficult to read, then you need to reevaluate how you're doing your text on your thumbnails.
Just to take that to the next level, Viper, could it be not only the size of the text, but also the font?
Yeah.
I feel as if this font is maybe a bit thin and cartoony.
Yes.
Like usually fonts can be big and chunky so that they're easy to read.
Yes, definitely. Font plays a role for sure.
All right. So that is Life with Dom and Nico. I mean, my general advice would be up until I would say the new year, just continue experimenting with the different themes, concepts, because every video seems to be hitting a home run now in terms of views, and then start to decide where there may be little adventures and niches that you can funnel off into the new year. But very encouraging stuff.
Oh, Rob, they said that one video that popped off, they did not post that internally. That's a YouTube thing. So the algorithm, for whatever reason, liked that particular video.
Nice
work. Ready, Jeff?
Let's do it. The claw.
You realize you got to do it every single time now. All right, gaming channel. Here we go. What are we going to find for you here, Dan? Hopefully it's not a channel who had a successful Nintendo Switch hunt this weekend. No, they're actually a channel about Mortal Shell and Nino Kuni. These Let's Plays, I think they might be.
A couple different games going kind of between them. I think, let's scroll down. Let's see how many they've done. Looks like they're releasing a lot of content. We're seeing a lot of stuff in the past weeks and months. So they had a couple games. They ended their run with those and they swapped. Now they had a couple. So it's kind of interesting that the pattern seems to be, I'm going to play 2 games at the same time.
Yeah.
Focus on those 2 games. And then I'm going to
look at the perfect thumbnail symmetry there.
Yeah.
That's weirdly satisfying in this particular circumstance.
Yeah. I'm going to give this channel some general advice that a lot of folks probably have heard before, but this is, there's a lot of things going on here that are going to make it so this channel is forever spinning its wheels if they're not willing to make a change. And I'm not meaning to sound harsh. It's just kind of what I'm seeing. So when you start a new game, you get one thumbnail for it and you kind of stick with it. And it looks like this thumbnail wallpaper. And like we talked about a few times today, if you do that and somebody gets your video recommended in their home feed, they might think they already saw it and not click. The next thing you're doing is you're using the name of the game, and then there's a number for the episode. And then there's a small description of what you're doing, like Mortal Shell number 5, trying to get new weapons. I'd flip the titles, first of all. Trying to get new weapons in Mortal Shell would be the whole title. I would drop the part number, put it in the description, put it in your playlist. Obviously, it's going to be in a playlist in order, but part number, no one needs to know that they have 4 other episodes they should probably watch first, because they're not going to do that, because you want this to appeal to new viewers. You want people who've never met you before to watch episode 5 and welcome them. Let them know, by the way, I've done 4 other episodes, so be sure to go check those out. Anyway, today in Mortal Shell, I'm trying to find weapons. I have no weapons, things like that. The video length is very long. I'm not sure how many of like the 35 minutes in a 35-minute video, how many minutes of that is like action-packed, interesting stuff going on. The question that comes up, and I'm only bringing this up because I've seen this a lot. Are you editing your videos adequately? Are you cutting them down to a more well-contained size? Because for a channel of your current size, you want them to be a bit shorter. You want to make sure your retention's high, and that eventually you can get licensed to make them longer and longer. But when it comes to having a new gaming channel like this, I would recommend shorter videos, maybe no longer than 8 to 10 minutes. And that's going to require you to edit. It's going to require you to be a bit ruthless with what you cut in and out, but super important to edit down your content. That was a lot of things all at once. The biggest thing I'm seeing is this choice of 2 games. You're willing to focus on one game for a time, or 2 games rather. Why not one? Why focus on 2 simultaneously? Because even if you're releasing them back to back, day 1 this game, day 2 that game, and doing that over and over, you're kind of trying to build 2 audiences constantly. I want viewers from this game and I want viewers from that game, and then the game ends, and then are you playing? Are Doom and Cyberpunk close enough? Are they similar enough to attract the same audience? I wouldn't say they are. And it's going to be really tough to build up your returning viewers. The reason I say all of that is because we see you doing the strategy for months now, and it hasn't gotten you where you want to be, I imagine. Your view counts are probably not where you want to see them. And it's been a long time with this strategy. So it's time to test something new, and hopefully I've given you a lot of different things to kind of work off of.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's now is the time where if you feel like it's not performing well, or why you would, bring your channel to us, you're doing the same thing over and over and over, and it's not quite getting you where you want to go. I say it's time to take a left turn and try something different, whether it's niching into one particular game, but you definitely want to start doing some experimentation to see what, your audience or your target audience will actually want to respond to.
Yeah. When we do these channel audits, we come from the viewpoint of you want to grow an audience on YouTube. If you want to just record your gameplay and stick it on YouTube, that's absolutely fine. And if it's a place to store your videos, brilliant. But as both Dan and Jeff just said, it's a year later and you're still getting less than 10 views per video. The one time where you did change something up, I think in the last 6 months, this review, got 900 views. Hey, great.
Yeah.
That was something different. And for your channel, it was your viral moment. But then what happened next? It was just back to playing on games. And so we just hope that you try something a little new and different going forward on the channel. So that is Orion Invictus. Jeff, it's over to you again.
The claw.
222. This
Love how he
time.
leans like he's in a food coma when he does that.
All right. Viper, I want you to lead on this one. We're looking at a channel called Fitness with Nikita. What are your first impressions here.
Fitness with Nikita. All right. Your daily dose of well-being. Okay. All right. So we right off the bat, we have a defined topic of direction on the banner. So that's pretty cool. See, this isn't a personal pet peeve of mine, but it is what it is. You got too much text going on in the thumbnail. That's like the first thing I see is like a lot of text. I mean, I get it. On some cases, you need to have that extra text just to like make things like put it out there to let people know what's going on. But here's the thing: your titles and your thumbnails are supposed to dance with each other, y'all. And what I mean by dance with each other is they should complement each other. So you can have your title a certain way that your thumbnail can complement the title. So you don't have to put all the text in the thumbnail if you have a defined title and the thumbnail just acts as a complementary piece to your title. So I would say try to figure out how to marry your title and thumbnail to such a way where you don't need to have all that text in your thumbnail. Other than that, I mean, it's obvious by looking at the pictures and the poses and the thumbnails that this is a fitness channel and these are fitness videos. So I like that clear direction with the thumbnails. Title, okay. Here, okay, we got day 1, day. Okay, ooh, okay. All right. This is a tricky one with fitness because when you're a smaller channel, right? The people that are watching your videos as a smaller channel are going to be people that are not subscribed to your content. So since most of your viewers are not going to be people that are subscribed, they're going to come in at day 5, day 6, and like try to have to go backwards to figure out where did you start, and it just there's a way to do this and not make people feel like they missed out immediately. Like I would suggest maybe eliminating the day count from it and just putting the title of the topic in there. It's more welcoming that way. That means people that are coming to your channel that have never seen you before, they can just dive in where they want to dive in at, and they don't feel like they have to go back and see everything else because they're at day 6, day 5 already. So I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just me spitballing, but you want to make your content as welcoming as possible. And when you are on day 6 and you're a new person, you're like, oh man, that might make somebody click away because they feel like they missed out. So
yeah, I completely agree. Opinion. I completely agree. This is actually what Dan gets into on gaming channels, where you want every video when somebody lands there that they don't have to think, oh, I have to go back and watch these other parts. Your video should still be just as good standalone. So not saying that they aren't, but that's sort of the thing that you kind of get when I'm seeing day 4, day 5, day 6, like, oh, I gotta go find these other videos. This would make more sense to put that in a playlist and have that on your homepage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so somebody can click on the playlist and go through them in that order. But yeah, that's just something to think about. But I'm in complete agreement with Viper on this one.
I just wanted to go back to something that you spoke about earlier, and I love the way you phrased it, Viper. The thumbnail and the title should dance together. And I was thinking, well, how could you do this in a fitness environment? And what I was thinking of maybe was you strip out all of this text apart from maybe one, like it might be lower body or it might be calves workout. That's the only thing you leave in. And then maybe you have an arrow pointing to the part of the body that it's you're working on. That could be one idea, but there are already like hints, examples of this. I see these 2 videos. I know this one's a short, but I feel like the thumbnail is very simple, but very effective. But then this one here, there's kind of like an interesting intrigue in this one. There's a comparison between how an animal does this. And I thought that was a good example, a brief one, of how there's a bit of dance going on there between the thumbnail and the title.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely be looking at what successful channels in this space do for thumbnails. And my guess would be that they're probably not as text heavy.
I think what the creator is getting right is the position and the pose, their body workout. The hero of each of these thumbnails is the action. I think that's done very effectively. But then, as you say, perhaps I think stuff educational and workout channels and whatnot, I think they can get away a little bit more with text on thumbnails, just to be really explicit and direct. But I do agree that there's probably a bit too much text on many of these thumbnails.
Do we think that it's fitness is too vague? Like maybe they should be niched down into a certain type of workout. Like it looks like they do a lot of yoga, for example.
Yeah, for beginners, females, people over 30, under 30, you know, without, you know, I think they say with no equipment, that could be their unique value proposition as well.
Yeah.
I'll just do a quick search for thumbnails. That's not a good example, is it? 'Cause it's kind of quite similar. That one's got 35 million views. I need something like that is really, really effective for me, even without any text.
Yeah.
I think sets like that too add a lot of credibility. That could also play into it as well.
I think we'll all agree that the channel's definitely going in the right direction. There's just like subtle tweaks they need to make on these. I guess the other thing I'm noticing as well is a lot of these videos are very short for workouts. You know, usually it's a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute session. Is this channel just focusing on one action in each of these sessions? And maybe that's something that they could sell. Like, you know, a high intensity workout in 2 minutes might be a way of approaching this. And also I'm seeing some interesting cropping going on here on videos that are not shorts. And at 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and yet they're all in a landscape, a portrait format. All right, let's move on to the next channel then. Let me put in, you know it, Jeff, you know what it's called.
The Claw.
How long until that gets really boring?
Hey, the chat seems to like it, so it's, you know, I'm here for I'm a man of the people.
We'll keep it up. We'll keep it up. The next channel is Wild Trick, League of Legends tips and tricks. All right, I already know I'm in the right place. Very quickly, very good thumbnails. I'm encouraged by this channel. This is like the foundations of a solid gaming channel, in that it's about League of Legends tips and tricks, and each of the thumbnails I think are telling me something instantly. I like this, Dan. What do you reckon?
Yeah, strong focus. I like the thumbnails. We got a character and not a lot of text, just a little bit. Only in 3 minutes. This one's really standing out to me. So all Vex tips and tricks that you need to know, only in 3 minutes. So it's basically playing on the actual length of the video here. It looks like a lot of their videos are of that length. What's kind of interesting is, 3 months. I was going to say, I want to know how long they've been at this. And if you notice, the videos that have had time to kind of sit for a while and bake have gotten a lot of views. And the later videos you notice don't have a lot. And that's because they are targeting search in a lot of these titles, I would say. So when you post a video and it targets search, you're going to notice it's slow at first. And then over time, it does start to pick up more and more steam.
This is interesting, Dan. Sorry, Jeff. I just want to say this before I forget. League of Legends channel, but some of these titles don't actually include League of Legends at all in the title.
Right.
Yep.
This is something I've been testing as well, because there's a lot of indicators in most games where people know what the game is. You know what I mean? If you categorize your game, that's one signal to YouTube that your game is League of Legends. If you use images from the game in your thumbnail, there's another signal to the viewers like, oh, it's League of Legends. You probably talk about it in your description. You probably say the words League of Legends in your videos. We know YouTube picks up on that as well. You don't, I mean, especially for search, I would still recommend having the name in there, but we're seeing that you can definitely not have it in there, and it keeps your titles shorter, more readable. So, you know, this is why we remake the How to Do a Gaming Channel video every year, right, Rob? Because we learn more things and we change our advice and our strategies a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, go ahead.
Oh, no. Sorry. What I was going to say, one of the things that they're also leveraging is their target audience. They're targeting the beginner player. They're targeting, hey, you like Ari, here's a beginner guide, tips and tricks for this particular character. Look at Katarina, tips and tricks, 1.5K views, because they're targeting the people who are beginners with a particular character within a particular game. So there is a strategy happening here, based on the thumbnail style, based on the title style, based on the topic of the videos. So this is something that a lot of people should be, especially if you're a gaming channel in the chat right now, you should be taking notes. You should be looking at this channel and looking at that strategy of what they're doing. Less text in the thumbnails. They pop. The the consistency of the content and who they're targeting. That's more important than anything else, because they're going after a nice big audience, and that's the person who just picked up this game and is trying to figure out how they can play better.
I'm always trying to tell people with Minecraft channels, like, don't discount how many people pick up Minecraft for the first time every single day. And League of Legends is also an older game. A lot of people still play it. There are people still picking it up for the first time right now.
And Viper, does this channel pass the Viper pet peeve texting thumbnails meter?
Yes. Like Jeff said, the less text in your thumbnails, the better. I mean, again, the title and the thumbnail should dance. And that, to me, that means having as little text in your thumbnail as possible. You don't really need text. I mean, the title is where the text should go. So why do you want text in your thumbnail when the text is the title? So yeah, I like the way they're doing things on this channel.
And there's an adage that says, half as long is twice as strong.
Ooh,
there you go.
Damn.
Woo. I want to talk a little bit about
smoking
search. Are we looking at?
Yeah, we're just plugging your excellent. Is it going to get 1 million views this year? Video done.
We have a little more time,
and then you got to do it again next year. That's
this close. This close.
A little more time on that. So one thing I want to say about search is, if you're a gaming channel that is tackling search, you might be wondering, what if I don't want to do search-driven content forever and always? What if I want to do what I've seen some of the other YouTubers do, which is appeal to browse? One thing I could recommend for the channel we were looking at a moment ago was try to do some fun challenges. Take the game to a place that you haven't seen it taken before. Try to play with this game in different ways, because it's one thing to give this really valuable search-driven content. One of the things I would test in the future for you, though, would be to experiment with it. Give a character a loadout you would never seen before. Just do goofy stuff like that, and you might find yourself making some very interesting videos that no one's ever made before. So really play around with your games. That could be a really good way to target an audience that's looking for entertainment. You know, they're looking for something. They're fans of the game, but they're not beginners. They're not searching for these really beginner level tactics.
Final thought: lots of views, not many subscribers.
Right.
I think that definitely fits the connotation of it being search driven, where people get their answers, but they have no affinity with the channel. Are we thinking maybe they should start to ask people if they could subscribe, just to try and build up the community aspect of it a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Viper. I appreciate that.
No, I was thinking that as soon as you started saying, I'm guessing that they're not asking people to subscribe, because for the views that they should have more subscribers, definitely.
Yeah. Or they're not doing it effectively. And that's something that a lot of people will miss, because they'll say something along the lines of like, comment, subscribe. Why?
No.
Right.
Why should I?
No.
Give me a reason to do so.
Yes.
So ask them in a way that makes sense to them as a viewer, based on the value that you are delivering. So that's really what it comes down to. But it has to make sense.
Nice advice, sir.
The claw.
See, I wanted to do that without prompting you that time, Jeff, to see if you were conditioned to say it now, which I think we've locked that in. All right.
We've been brainwashed.
260.
We lost him.
I'm like the Manchurian candidate over here for the claw.
We are looking at Onyx King. Hang on a second. Is this a gaming channel?
Oh, it might be animation. Well, hold on. Did you go to the wrong form?
Hang on. So,
who's your fault?
No, Onyx King. Are you a gaming channel? No. Okay.
You know what they are? They're a liar.
We're going to give them a minute. No, we're going to give them a minute. We're going to give them a minute to see if they can persuade us that this is not a gaming channel.
So many weird things happening to Mario's face. I wonder if they're animating.
That's what it looks like it to me. It looks like animation, not gaming. It's just animation based on a video game, I guess.
I would agree.
Mario works.
So that already puts it in a unique position, being animation based on gaming, so less competition in that sense, different type of audience. And yeah, I mean, we kind of ignored it at the beginning, but 200,000 subscribers. Well, sorry, not 200, 172,000 subscribers. The view counts don't seem to necessarily reflect that. So I'm going to go to most popular and see a video with probably tens of millions of views. All right, a couple.
Hey Tish, we know, we see you. We working on it. Don't worry. We are working on it. I promise you that.
Awesome.
A lot of interesting. I wonder what these videos, if they're not gaming, like what
Oh, he is in the chat, or they are in the chat. Onyx King says this is about animation. That's what they are saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's been confirmed. Well, so they had videos that hit millions of views before, and now we're seeing not that happening. So I guess the question they would be asking us is, how do I get back to that place? And I'm going to say the ones that hit millions of views were about, I don't know when they were released. We're off the page now, but those videos were about another game. Like they were about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, the most popular ones.
Yes. 6 years ago, too. So when Five Nights at Freddy's was super popular.
Oh, Mario merged with Friday Nights at Freddy's. Right, okay.
So my question to you is, why have you not merged these characters with Squid Games, for example, or other trending games or things happening right now? That would be the direction I would be taking this content.
Yeah, you want to find that overlap, right? Because you know what you want to make your content about, you know what your audience is looking for, but we also want to make sure, how can we bring those two together with a mainstream audience? The mainstream audience being where the millions of views lie. So how can you bring them in? That, you know, and exactly what Dan is talking about, focus on trending topics. How can you bring, like, Squid Games is the biggest thing right now. Like by far the biggest thing. We're seeing Among Us. We're seeing a bunch of different versions. People are out here doing Roblox with Squid Games, which is crazy. So there is ways to do it. You just have to focus on some of those trends, especially for a channel your size. This is something that you definitely want to look into. What's hot right now in pop culture, and how can you bring that in to your Mario animations?
Says he's working on a Squid Game video. There you go.
Hey, there we go. I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see it.
I'm seeing some shorts here, so I think maybe definitely checking out Jake Feldman's channel just as a reference point, as somebody who blends animation with very successful content. They're really looking at replayability of the shorts there, making sure their audience retention is, can you believe it, usually above 100%. That's how shorts really take off. But yeah, it sounds like some good advice there for the channel. I guess another way of looking at this, but this could be a very scary thing to contemplate, is that you've been doing these Mario animations now for how long?
6 years, 7 years?
7 years. Is it time to just try something radical and different? Maybe not on this channel, maybe starting a new channel, but experimenting with something different. Because it could be that there's just viewer fatigue after so many Mario animations. Because I think Jake Feldman's really wrestling with this. He tends to want to make like 100 videos on a particular game and then move on to something else and eventually start creating his own intellectual property. I'm just wondering if the viewer fatigue might be something here for the channel.
Using the community tab though, 5 days ago.
It's good to see. Good to see.
Yeah, they mentioned Squid Games in theirs too. So yeah, good. I'm glad you're kind of thinking along the same lines too. And it's just kind of about being on the pulse of what everybody's talking about. There's always something that everybody's hyped about. And right now, yeah, definitely that TV show. So anytime you can tie that in, and even jumping on smaller trends in the interim, if you feel like, oh, maybe you don't like Squid Games at all, you're like, I don't even want to make a Squid Games video. Maybe there's something smaller going on in a smaller community that you can kind of tie this stuff into. But when you can animate, when you have the skill set, you can do anything, you know. And it's so cool to see. And everyone knows who Mario is, and you could try like another Nintendo character or popular character like that, like Rob was suggesting. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, the goal is to keep pulling in these like two things that don't belong together, right? So, by the way, I was only calling you a liar as a joke. I hope that didn't offend you. It's just trying to get a laugh.
Let's quickly canvass the auditors here in the chat. Who's seen Squid Game so far? Squid Games?
I'm partly.
I haven't yet.
I have not yet.
I'm just finishing off. You know, actually, Dan, this is a suggestion from Emily D. Baker, the Macmillions documentary about.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I think it's too long. I think they could have done it in 3 episodes. It's dragging a bit for me, but I'm going to get through it. And then maybe Squid Games is next.
Watch it at 2 times speed, man, or 1.5.
My wife's not gonna.
Oh, you're watching with somebody else. Never mind.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No, yeah. I watch. This is why I prefer watching Netflix on the cloud. This is why I prefer watching Netflix on desktop, because I can speed it up to 1.5.
There you go. All right. So this is going to be a gaming channel. So we weren't auditing a gaming channel there. We were auditing an animation channel. So we are now looking at XDriel. Xdry. Yes, them. We're auditing them. Subscribe for a free brownie. Can you deliver on that promise?
Seriously, man, I want
of free brownies.
Yeah,
that's
have 456 people got their brownies.
Yeah, that's, you know, you can't keep that secret very long. One of those subscribers is going to talk soon and let us know if they got their brownie or not. So I'd be careful.
I'll even accept a picture of a digital brownie because you didn't specify. So just make sure you're dropping those deliverables.
Yes,
right.
Dropping those deliverables.
So this is a very interesting set of videos we're looking at here.
Shorts, yeah.
Well, we have a couple in the middle
content
that are longer than shorts that have thousands of views.
Yeah.
Normally titles and thumbnails we wouldn't generally recommend. I'm kind of wondering what the heck is going on here.
So I think the thing that the thread here is Skywars.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing like cool, funny things in there, and yeah, Dan, the view counts are good. I'm going to say this, as I said earlier on: commit to consistency. You have momentum, but like there was a big break here. You know, more than a month between content. With such short content, I would be thinking that, you know, if you are at school, maybe you can maybe be delivering this type of content 2 times a week, maybe. Obviously, we don't know how much editing is going into this content, but there's definitely something here for the channel. They just need to capitalize on it.
So it looks like because there's some certain words to me that are unfamiliar, and I think they're names, screen names of other players. So either they're really good at Skywars, or they're clipping together other people that destroyed this other person, you know. And either way, that seems to be where you need to be, like finding these popular players, getting into a game with them, completely dominating them, and making those your videos. That seems to be what your audience wants. They want to see these other players in Skywars get wrecked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how niche a Minecraft channel can go, by the way. Like that could be your whole channel until like the next Skywars, quote unquote, comes out.
Get to it. I challenge this creator to make, let's see, 25 videos by the end of the year. I think that's doable, I hope, because I think you had a streak here 6 months ago where you were making quite a lot of content. Quite a lot going on there.
I'm gonna
revise it. 20 videos by the end of the year.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick, just with a quick word of caution to any creators that are starting out. Be very careful with giveaways. Giveaways are weird. People are weird with giveaways. Especially if you're setting it up to where, in order to be eligible to win the giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel. Number one, I don't think that's even legal on YouTube no more, so that's a violation of terms of service. But number two, more importantly though, you tend to attract the wrong audience to your channel by doing it via giveaways. I'm not saying that definitely what this person is doing, but I'm just giving you guys just a pointer for future reference. A lot of people get mad when they don't win the giveaway, and then they end up leaving your channel anyway, and it just looks bad for your channel analytics. So just don't even mess with it too much if you can't. So just be careful with giveaways. You could there are ways to do giveaways and not do it in like such a public fashion. So yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Jeff. You're up.
The claw.
Building up the tension there.
Yeah, it was moving back and forth. I'm like, oh man, it's really good.
It's wavering. Oh, is it gonna go? All right. This channel is called Dad Skills, and they look a little like this. That's another channel that's so close to the
we are going into overtime today. All right. Yeah.
All right. So I'm seeing shorts. Predominantly a couple of long form content here as well. What's the value prop? How to with dad skills. This is an everything tech education channel. We got Alexa, we got solar lights, iPhone control center.
Yeah, if they're using a lot of shorts too, it looks like they're bounced between short form and long form content. The question becomes, well, how are we going to build that returning audience? I mean, I'm seeing them fix tires one day and then grow avocados another day.
You know what I think this channel is kind of a little bit like, but can you remember this channel from about 18 months ago?
This channel popped in my head immediately when I saw the name. Yeah.
Yep. Now, I just think that the reason this channel went viral is because of the story behind the creator and the value proposition. You just absolutely nail it. And then even though this is kind of a dad, how do I channel, there is a certain path of, well, it's talking about football now. Oh, he's managing to take his channel in all sorts of directions.
but that just plays right to our point, right? Like this creator got licensed to do that after building up to millions of subscribers.
Yeah, so let's go back to the oldest content, which I think was very much tying a tie, doing shave, change a tire, checking air pressure. So I guess what's the difference here? Why did this channel go viral? And why is this channel, if I can get back to it, not quite there?
Even with that other channel and all the different things they were doing, there was some consistency. Like the thumbnails had a consistency to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, the types of things they were doing were all household, like general, like literally things you would ask your dad to help you with. And I'm just not seeing it here. I'm seeing I'm really thrown by telling if an egg's fresh, growing an avocado, and changing the tire. Like these are just things that there's a lot of disconnects there.
And create a custom Alexa response.
That's like tech channel, like 100%.
Yeah. And then the last two videos dealing with iPhone stuff. I'm like, huh?
So yeah, I guess the focus just isn't quite there. It's kind of in the right direction. I mean, if it was dad tech, how do I? How do I? But mind you, it's usually the other way around, isn't it? It's children helping the dads with tech these days. So it's almost like a dad wrestling with new tech. Kind of might be the value proposition. Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. So they have their target audience in mind.
So is this aimed at people who are dads?
Dad skills is aimed squarely at 18 to 35. So maybe moving out for the first time, starting a family, or just need tips and advice on how to make a DIY project run smoothly. So that tells me just a person, whether they're a dad or not, just a person who's looking to, you know, in their day-to-day life, approach different challenges. So if your audiences are people who just moved out, like think about, you know, maybe even talk to some people who have just moved out. Ask them, like, what are some challenges around the house that like have been a pain in your butt? You know, like certain things you could call maintenance and if they're a renter, you could call maintenance and have them come fix your garbage disposal, for example. But maybe you don't have to bother them if it's a simple thing. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like if it's for people who just moved out and they're getting their first place, then focus on the challenges that specifically come with that.
And I would say the most successful videos are somewhat more technical and electrical in nature. Just looking at, you know, the coaxial cables there, whatever this is, some sort of plug logic board. I don't even know what a ferrules is. So
is anyone searching for that term, or is there a use case for that could have been a better search term? I feel like ferrules is what you would learn. Oh, this is called a this, you know what I mean?
So to summarize for this channel, they need to just look at their focus in exactly what type of how-tos they should be doing. For example, how to collapse your pop-up green screen. There just seems to be too much of a disconnect between that, doing Alexa stuff, and then fixing a puncture in a tire. it just seems to be a bit too much of a leap. And thumbnail consistency as well, Dan, I think you pointed out.
Yeah.
And it's not quite there for the channel. And that's, I'm afraid, Viper ends overtime. Somebody had just kicked a field goal, and we can end right there in overtime. And thank you for joining us. Dan, I'm not seeing you were showing a bit of sports knowledge there. That's 3 points, right?
It's just this. I want to celebrate, and my arms don't fit out of the frame past here. So.
Let's say some goodbyes, shall we? Starting with Jeff. Who do you want to say goodbye to today?
Let's see. We've got Rob Key. So I hope you have a great day. Mr. Michael Andrews, I hope you have yourself a great afternoon or evening as well. Masked Tales, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And Calvin, who's in the chat, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Awesome stuff. Viper, who are you saying goodbye to?
All right, let's say goodbye to the rambling roll. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to the fly fishing filmmaker. Goodbye to Kick Gaming, and also goodbye to Real Uncharted.
I didn't realize, Viper, you were also wearing one of our new merch shirts as well. So
yeah, I had my hoodie on. I took my hoodie off. So yeah,
we've got the 3 options covered right here.
Yeah, this is the new 3 that you're seeing right here. And who hasn't said goodbye yet? And is it just me?
I feel
Dan?
like I've not been included. I'm not included in the merch. I'm not included in
Sorry,
saying goodbye.
Did we not give
fine. I'll just hang out.
No, say goodbye.
Like your shipment over there?
All right, I'll say goodbye to somebody. How about Minecraft Transformers? See you later.
Yeah.
Kit Gaming, we'll see you around. Minecraft Transformers had like a Minecraft Transformer head as their avatars. Very distracting. Very cool. Tom McKee, we'll say goodbye to you. And how about Mr. Doormat? See you later.
Swimming with tarot cards. That is a channel that I need to visit. That sounds really.
So they could market like waterproof tarot cards.
Hold the press. We're having a look at this channel. We've got to. I mean, talk about channel names. I'm going to be really disappointed if this is not tarot readings in a swimming pool now. I feel as if I've been let down a little bit.
A little bit. I don't know what's going on. I don't see tarot cards. I don't see pools.
Tarot readings for famous people. That's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool idea. I just where's the swimming? That's what I came for, the swimming. And it's
no, it's a play on words. It's not actual swimming, unfortunately.
Oh, am I just completely out of touch there?
Me too. Then I have no idea.
All right, let's move on then. Let's move on. Honeycomb, goodbye to you. Loser Anna, goodbye to you. Darfor Karif, also goodbye to you. Goodbye to Saka Gaming. Last but not least, we're saying goodbye to BZNZ Man. Thank you all for joining us. As always, Dan, what are we doing tomorrow?
Streaming.
Yeah, me and Dan.
What are we streaming about?
vidIQ, growing your channel. And we're going to take your questions.
That sounds like you have not prepared.
More.
And more.
And more.
You'll just have to find out tomorrow. Yeah.